You know, for years, many Bostonians have worked to erase the scars of racism that tarnished the city's image for decades. As recently as September, Mayor Walsh gained praise for a speech to the Boston Chamber of Commerce in which he challenged the community to build more diverse leadership teams, ones more reflective of the city's demographics. So, while people who've called this home forever have made progress, the new kids in town, the disruptors, seem to be working to undo it. In April, we learned that after 11 months of same-day delivery by Amazon, every neighborhood was included except 3 zip codes in one community, Roxbury, which is more than 80% people of color. To their credit, the company addressed the problem within a week. Now comes Uber, the disruptor to end all disruptors. According to a study by the National Bureau of Economic Research, first mentioned here last night by Steve Smith, Uber canceled pickups of riders with African-American names at twice the rate of those with names more likely to be that of a white customer. The immediate response from Uber was pretty much a non-response, telling the Globe, quote, "We believe Uber is helping reduce transportation inequities," which is obviously not true in Boston. Then they say studies like this are helpful, which they are if they change behavior. What struck me, though, was the hypocrisy of the company. Juxtaposed with this strong evidence of racial discrimination is purported great concern for communities of color. Ed Davis, former police commissioner, now lobbying for Uber on proposed ride-sharing regulations before the legislature earlier this year, said this: "There's a shameful history in our city of taxis not picking up certain passengers in certain neighborhoods, most often people and communities of color." An industry he regulated, didn't he? And then, of course, there was the battle over fingerprinting, with current Commissioner Bill Evans calling it the gold standard and Uber lobbying hard to avoid it, with the East Coast GM telling us back in February they have concerns about racial discrimination because fingerprinting would flag anyone who's been arrested, even if they weren't convicted. Evans, though, was quick to shoot down that argument when he joined us on Boston Public Radio.
Over the last 2 days, we've fingerprinted 55 taxi drivers, and some of them had criminal records, but nothing to disqualify them from. So this ain't about going after a certain population here, because I don't care what nationality you are.
Confused? Don't be. Many talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. Now that the damning evidence is in, it's time Uber does both. What do you think? Email us, tweet us, share your thoughts.